All praises to Yahweh, Barsham Yahweh Shai, Barsham Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. I was just watching a video that a brother posted about this guy that's a high level scoffer, man. Alright, this guy called Charleston White, right? And he was like, he made a whole like 2 hour video just trying to go in on the Hebrew Israelites, disrespecting Yahweh, right? And he was like thinking that it's funny. And one of the main things that I kept noticing that he was saying is that the Israelites don't have any holes and all of this stuff, but that's because he's carnal and he's just focusing on what somebody has, and he'll believe what anybody says then, as long as they have the external image, man. All right, now let me go to some scriptures. This is Jeremiah chapter 9 and verse 23. Thus saith Yahweh, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches. And people like this Charleston White guy, if he sees that somebody's got wisdom, he ain't really going to care about that, right? If he sees that someone's got might, he ain't going to care about that, because that's not the thing that he's the most interested in this world, right? But if he sees someone that's got riches, he's going to glory in that, right? Whereas there might be another guy that don't glorify in might and don't glorify in riches and glorifies in wisdom, but they don't glorify in the wisdom of the scriptures. They glorify in the wisdom and knowledge of this world, right? They might glorify in mathematics, right? They might glorify in carnal, earthly knowledge. They might glorify in the knowledge that's all these universities have, right? But the things that are outside of the scriptures, they'll glorify in. And there'll be another person that doesn't care about being smart, book smart, doesn't care about the scriptures, and doesn't care about having riches. They care about being the most carnal, strongest guy in the world. And then you'll have other people that don't care about wisdom. I mean, that they don't care about the Bible at all, and they care about people trying to have all three of these different categories. So if you're just wise, they don't care. If you're just mighty, they don't care. Or if you're just rich, they don't care. They want you to be all three of these things in order for them to even want to hear anything that you say, even though they themselves are not any of those, might not be any of those things. Verse 24, but let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am Yahweh, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth, for in these things I delight, saith the Lord. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will punish all them which are circumcised with the uncircumcised, Egypt and Judah and Edom, and the children of Ammon and Moab, and all that are in the utmost corners, that dwell in the wilderness. For all these nations are uncircumcised, and all the house of Israel are uncircumcised in the heart. And this Charleston White guy is inside of that group, man, because he was like, one of the main things that he kept talking about is how Israelites ain't got no holes, right? Saying that Israelites ain't fly niggas, right? He don't remember seeing any of them. He don't remember seeing of them when he was growing up, right? But what he doesn't understand is that might be just because he didn't grow up in the place where he originated from, or because he was so focused on worldly things that he couldn't see outside of himself for 1 second to even see where the word came from. The word over there started in America, started over in New York, man. And I'm not sure if he's even from New York, right? But if he's not from New York, that would make sense why he didn't hear about the word when it was being pushed over there in the earlier years, right? And if he is from New York, well, it still would make sense why he doesn't hear it anyway, because he's carnal and he would have been focused on worldly things. You see? And then he was saying stuff like he ain't ever met no Hebrew Israelites in prison and all this stuff like that. And that would be a sign that the doctrine keeps people out of prison. Which, before I read the scripture I was going to go to, let me go to this. It would show that the Israelites have got wisdom to not end up in prison. He was saying he don't see Hebrew Israelites in the club. Well, of course you wouldn't, because we're not about that. We're not about promoting this world and helping this world continue on, man. We want this world to fall. So of course we're not going to be injecting our energy into the wickedness of this world. This is Matthew chapter 5 and verse 25. Agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. But guys like this are just going to try and focus on being about money, man. That was his main thing. He was talking about money and talking about women. But what did the scriptures say? The scriptures say many have fallen out of their wits for women and become servants for their sake. So this guy will be prepared, and guys like him will be prepared to do whatever is necessary to do, as long as you can get some money from it, and as long as some funky ass woman, right, that as soon as your finances run out, she's gonna bounce onto the next hard thing that's pointing upward, that's pointing vertically, right? She's gonna move on to the next guy. This is First Ezra chapter 4 and verse 26. Many they be that have run out of their wits for women and become servants for their sake. So if you're just loving women, chasing after women's batty hole all the time, man. And by batty hole, I don't mean no sodomy stuff neither. I mean just chasing, running behind women all the time, man. Right? Just chasing after women's batty crease, chasing after women's legs, right? Just all the time, man. Obviously, men have lust for women, man, right? But if you're just worrying about how to get women all the time, you're going to become servants for their sakes. Verse 27, many also have perished, have erred and sinned for women. So if you're just worried about women all the time and you're thinking, oh, women like guys that are rich, right? Well, then you might smack another guy over the head with a brick to rob a guy that's rich, got riches, so that you can get some woman that likes riches, right? And you might keep continually doing this now for this woman, right? That might, in your opinion, be extremely attractive, until eventually you try and rob the wrong person and you end up dead. Or until she gets bored of you not being able to provide the amount of money that she requires. So then she goes to a guy that's just got more money than you naturally and can get money easier than you. And he's prepared, doesn't even really want as much from you, as much as you require from her to get that same amount of money. So he's going to be prepared to simp even harder than you were simping and give her more money than you was after. And the woman don't care about the moral code of anything, this particular woman that you'll be seeking for. So she's going to just be like, well, whatever's easiest for me, that's what I'm going to go for. So these guys talk, and guys like it, screaming about not being fly and not having holes and all of this stuff like that. Well, there's more to life than that, man. Right? There's more to life than that. And a Hebrew Israelite has had the most women than any man on this earth. There's no man on this earth that's had 1,000 women that was all belong to him other than King Solomon. Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge, man. King Solomon had 1,000 women that was all his women. Not no, oh, it's not, what do they say out here, man? They say she's not yours, it's just your turn. Right? They say sloppy seconds. But in this world, in this society right now, it's sloppy 55s around here. To be honest with you. It ain't even no sloppy. You'd wish it would be seconds in this world. You'd wish it was the second guy with how wicked this world is. But you might be the 100th in some of these cases, man. And the woman will lie, obviously. She'll be coming with that BS talking about she don't normally don't normally do this. Yeah, okay. You mean none of the men have baited out your whoredom because they're hoping for another that you come spin round again and go for another go. Lying ass. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 20. Where's the wise? Where's the scribe? Where's the dispute of this world? Have not God made foolish the wisdom of this world? Isn't the wisdom of this world foolish? Right? All these rappers talking all these lyrics, right? Wearing these chains. But you've got a whole YouTube people that are making money now, showing how these people's chains are fake. Right? Showing how these people's chains are fake. And then even if the chain is real, these people will be spending all this money on a chain when they could have spent that money on a house. They'll be spending 300,000 plus on chains, but you could have bought a house with that. And they might not have a house, but you could have bought a house so that all these women that you get in with this house, with these chains, you could have just took them back to your house. You know, like people's way on how they even think about things and think about what's worthwhile doesn't even make any sense. It's better to have a house to live in than to have a fast car. It's better to have a house to live in than to have some diamond chains around your neck and some Rolex watches. But people don't think about it. But people try and make it like us, the Israelites. We don't care about having things. We want things. We want nice things too. But we don't want it from this wicked world. We want this world to crumble down, and then we're going to get it in our kingdom. We want to be in charge when we have these things. We don't just want to build up things in this society and then have to get the MOTB. We don't want to have to get a device in our hand or in our head in order to keep the continuation of this money coming in. Verse 21. For after that, in the wisdom of God, the world by wisdom knew not God. Exactly. So this world's trying to get all this wisdom, yet they still don't know God. They're searching out all these things, right? They're trying to search out all these different ways. They can understand all these different things in the moon. They can try and search out all these they try and think they can measure out how far the sun is from the earth and all of this talk. They can search out all the different seasons. They can search out all these different animals, yet still they don't know God, right? Verse 21, for after that, in the wisdom of God, the world by wisdom knew not God. It pleased God by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. For the Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom. But we preach Hamashiach crucified, unto the Jews a stumbling block, and unto the Greeks foolishness, because the Jews didn't think that, and by Jews I mean the Israelites that was born upon the laws in the times past. They didn't want to believe that you had to follow after Yahushua, because they thought that you just got it from the law, right? But unto the Greeks that didn't even know Yahushua in the first place, they thought it was stupid that you can just receive salvation through believing in a Savior that died for your sins. They didn't understand it. Verse 24, but unto them which are called, both Jews, meaning both those that was raised up in the laws of the Israelites, because they were Israelites, right? But unto them which are called, both Jews and Greeks, Hamashiach, the power of Yahweh, and the wisdom of God. So inside of both of those groups, the Israelites that understood the laws and the Israelites that didn't, they was going to understand it as the wisdom of God. Verse 25, because the foolishness of God is wiser than men, and the weakness of God is stronger than men. For you see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. Because if it was about being fly, right? If it was about being rich, right? If every single Israelite was like some smooth, handsome Denzel Washington looking cat, right? That all the women just, as soon as the guy puts on his garment, right, all the women start viewing him in slow motion, right? All the women are just flocking around. You think that some simps wouldn't start coming around the camps and wouldn't start going and trying to be all up on the Bible all of a sudden now, because they want to get the women? They wouldn't be there with a sincere heart. They'd be there because of women. Just like how you got these preachers in the church that they're preaching. As soon as they see a man come in there with a nice wife, they might change up the whole lessons for the day to try and sow discord between a man and his wife, right? They might want to always want to ask that man's wife a question, because they're trying to get the man's wife, man. They're trying to get in between that man's wife's legs, and that's why Yahweh didn't choose the people that are glorified in this world, because he didn't want people that are unsincere trying to come to his word, because really they're after something else. Verse 27, but God hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and God hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. Yahweh didn't choose all the things that are glorified in this world to preach his word, man, because it would bring the wrong people around. If every single person that was about the scriptures had an army backing them, you think anyone would be scoffing? You think people would scoff if they had people that own the financial? If the Hebrew Israelites, right, owned the financial systems in this world, you think anyone would scoff? No, they wouldn't, because all we'd have to do is inflate the price of the money. Now what you're saying? Your bread's now gonna cost £50 a slice in your area because you scoffed. You think they'd scoff? They'd obviously try and start believing what we're saying, because they want to get some of the money, because they want favor with somebody that's rich. And that's what the scriptures say. When a rich man speaks, everyone exalts it to the clouds, but when a poor man speaks, they're like, shut up, man. That's how the world is. This is Sirach chapter 13, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 13 and verse 22. When a rich man is fallen, he have many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken, and yet men justify him. And that's what people do. When a rich guy like a Bill Gates or Elon Musk says something extremely bugged out and wicked, people say, "Oh, he don't mean it like that though. He's got to say it that way. He don't mean it like, oh, but he's getting money though." That's how people are. As soon as you're getting money, people are prepared to accept whatever BS you say. The poor man slipped, and yet they rebuked him too. He spake wisely and could have no place, and Hebrew Israelites speak wisely. We let people know that the reason why we're punished is because we're being wicked. Yet they'll say, nah, I don't believe that. That's the white man's book, right? Yet the so-called white man that they're saying whose book it is ain't saying the same things from the book. Why is he not saying the same things from the book then, if it's his book? Why is he not doing the thing? Why is he the person that's doing the things from the book the least out of everybody on the earth? And then they'll try and say, oh, yeah, but he set that book up to deceive you. No, he didn't. He actually lies about what's in the book. If he set up the book to deceive, he would say what's in there. He would have made sure that in slavery we was reading it all the time. But instead, he actually used to beat the slaves for reading it. He used to beat the slaves for reading in general. He made a slave Bible, right, where he took out 90% of the Old Testament and 50% of the New Testament, and they gave that version to the slaves as well. They didn't want us to read the books because they didn't want us to read the stories about Moses, because they knew that those stories would have sung to our spirit and we would have rose up, man. Like we're raising up now. Because they don't mind you Jakes raising up in a carnal way, because they can just smack you down, man, because their blessing is the sword. Their blessing is weaponry. Tanks, nukes, jets. And the thing that's funny with all these scoffers like these Charleston white guys and all of these people, right, that have always got something to say about Hebrew Israelites, they can always mock where you're saying we should go about things. They can always mock the way of the scriptures. They can always try and mock God's laws, but they don't have a better alternative. That's the thing. So if you was to say, you know what, you're right, the Bible is false, which I'm not saying that it is. I don't believe that the Bible is false. I believe that the Bible is the word of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. But let's say that there's somebody who's to say, you know what you're saying is true, I'm going to come and follow you instead. I'm going to follow your doctrine. They ain't got one. They just say, well, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. That's what I believe. Whatever I think is right to do at that particular moment, I'm going to do it. And that's why people say, oh, it's wrong for this guy to snitch on his homeboys when he committed a crime for them, right? But then they also call somebody else a snitch if they found out that somebody committed a murder in their neighborhood and called the police and got that person arrested, that deserves to get judged for killing somebody, by the way. But they'd say you're snitching. But then if you sleep with another man's wife, right? Oh, I fucked his bitch, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, she was feeling me though. And they'll mock it and think that that's a good thing. There's no standards there, man. Verse 23, when a rich man speaketh, everyone holdeth every man holdeth his tongue. So they'll be like, what's he saying? Let me hear that. Maybe I can find out how to get some of the money that he's got. Maybe I can get some of the money that he's got, so that I can get some of the women that he's got, so that I can drive the car that he drives, so that I can live in the type of house that he lives in. Maybe he'll give me some information on how to get some money. But really, what does the rich man always do in this world? He'll say something, spin him a line, so that he can further extract out the money that they have and put it in his pocket. Oh, sign up to my course. Sign up to my course, and I'm going to teach you how to do it. He don't teach them. He don't end up teaching them shit. And maybe one out of the 100,000 people that he teaches might get it. And then he'll use them to further push that big bullshit ass belief. He might sign them up as a rapper to make one album, right, or one song. Do some funky ass weirdo LG alphabet stuff in there, right? And then further demote your society and your people and your community. And then now you're further destroyed, but because you're just about money all the time, you're listening to whatever people say because they've got money. You're holding your ear because they've got money. Verse 23, when a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he saith. They extol it to the clouds. But if a poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they shall help to overthrow him. So even if a poor man stumbles, right, people are going to be helping to further keep him down there, man. And that's that whole crabs in a barrel type spirit, man. Here it is. There might be a Jake that might want to go, and I'm not even promoting university or colleges or nothing like this, but there might be a Jake that might want to try and learn a trade or something like that, right? And then people find out that he's doing that, and they'll try and mock him. And then if he somehow falls or stumbles when he's trying to do that, they'll further help to make him not be able to achieve that, man. So he can be fucked up like them. So he can be messed up like how they're messed up. Because it's just a whole hateful ass vibe, man. These guys don't want to come up with a solution. They just want every single solution that anybody's got. They want to just look from afar and see, oh, have they done it yet? Has it been done yet? Oh, nah, well, fuck them then. That's what people want to say. And that's why a lot of people are going to be destroyed, man. And the scriptures say that people shall be willing in the day of thy power. But in the day of the power, a lot of these people are going to be getting messed up, man. A lot of these people are going to be getting effed up in the day of the power. This is Psalm 110 and verse 3. Psalm 110 and verse 3. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beauties of holiness, from the womb of the morning, thou wast the dew of thy youth. They're going to be trying to hope, when they see that the Israelites start getting power and start doing things, right? They're going to be saying, yeah, I always knew you brothers had it, you know. I always knew you brothers had what it took. I've been watching, man. I've always been pressing the like button on the videos. As if that really means that much. That don't mean nothing, man. It don't really mean nothing. Anyone can press the like button on a video. A scoffer can press the like button on a video because they want to be able to track it so that they can take it and show it to other people so that they can start laughing about it while they're smoking weed and drinking alcohol. Anyone can press the like button, man. But these scoffers are going to try and think that they can try and humble themselves magically, including women, man. They're going to try and think they can try and humble themselves, but it's not going to be heard in that day. Luke chapter 19 and verse 27. But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. So not everyone's going to be receiving mercy in that time. Now, a lot of these scoffers, they're going to be getting seriously hurt, man, and they can laugh and say whatever they want to say. They can say, oh, yeah, how is he talking? He's probably poor. Okay, well, be poor. They say, oh, how is he talking? He's not tall. Okay, I'll be short then. Oh, how's he talking? He ain't getting no hoes. Okay, we won't get hoes then. We'll be all of these things you want to say. But what are you going to do when the MOTB gets made mandatory? What are you going to do when they're making it mandatory to have to get a device in your hand or in your forehead? What's your belief regarding it? What's your belief? Because it's going to happen. So what are you going to say when it happens then? All you people. What are they going to say? What are they going to be saying when they see this stuff come to pass? And they've heard that we've said that. They've heard that we've said that because it comes from the Bible. What are they going to say then? They're just going to be looking stupid, man. They're going to be looking stupid, and all these people that are labouring in vain anyway. Let me get that. All these people that are thinking that they're just going to be bossed up. This is 2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse 45. And therefore they that labour in vain, for strangers shall reap their fruits, and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses, and take their children captives. For in captivity and famine shall they get children. And they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons, the more I will be angry with them for their sins, saith Yahweh. So the more these people are stacking up all their money, right, the more that Yahweh is going to be angry with them. The more they start building up to themselves all these assets and wealth, the more Yahweh is going to be angry because they've been hearing the truth, right? This Charleston White guy, he heard a lot. He was saying a lot of things that he's heard, and he was scoffing at every single bit of it. And he can try and say, oh, I'm just doing it. I'm just a character online. Well, Yahweh don't accept that as an excuse. When it comes to Yahweh, you have to watch your mouth. And the thing that people don't realize is that Yahweh hid himself. Because if he showed himself to everyone, they'd be too shook to be talking any madness. This is Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 14. Thus saith Yahweh, the labour of Egypt and the merchandise of Ethiopia and of the Sabians Men of stature shall come over unto thee, and they shall be thine. They shall come after thee, in chains shall they come over, and they shall fall down unto thee. They shall make supplication unto thee, saying, surely God is in thee, and there is none else. There is no God. But our own people are also going to be confounded, man. Verse 15, verily thou art a power that hideth thyself, O Yahweh, power of Israel, the Saviour. They shall be ashamed and also confounded, all of them. They shall go to confusion together that are makers of idols. They're going to be looking stupid, man. All these people that were scoffing, talking mess, thinking that it's fun to just mock your whole heritage, right? When it's not fun. This is Jeremiah chapter 16 and verse 19. O Yahweh, my strength and my fortress, and my refuge in the day of affliction. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. And that's what a lot of you Israelites are going to be saying. You're going to be realizing that you've gained vanity and lies. That you're going to realize that Big Mama, right, that used to make you the ackee and saltfish, right, with the plantains on the side, or as you Benjamites like to say, planting, right, planting, and the fried dumplings, and the callaloo. You're gonna remember. You're gonna know that she was chatting smack, man. You're gonna remember that your dad that sold you how to sell weed, right, or showed you how to knock a nigga out in the streets, right, and to not get punked, and was teaching you how to dance to rap music, right, or showing you how to wear a chain, or how to mack a hoe. You're gonna realize that all that stuff that he was teaching you was not the things that really mattered in life, man. That wasn't what mattered. I'm gonna end the lesson there, man. This is Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. All praises to Yahweh, Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. Shalom.